So what is the process? First, the process is probably just being aware of the fact that this is happening, that these things exist. And how do you see the process of rediscovery or reassimilation or that welcoming? And I know IFS is a very systematic way of working with that, but could you say a little bit about how you've learned to bring those parts in a way that is inclusive?
Yeah. So I learned the hard way to do it through the protector parts that I just mentioned. Because the mistake I was making and some psychotherapies make is to try to break through those defenses and get to those exiles as soon as possible, and then let them come out, and sometimes in an overwhelming or flooding way. And then there's a backlash from the protectors who they've tried to keep that locked up for 30 years.
So whenever there's a trauma or pain, there's the pain, but then there's what you're calling protectors. There's like there's an energy that is making sure that that doesn't get touched. Is that right? Okay.
Yeah. For me, trauma per se isn't traumatizing. What's traumatizing is the impact on this inner system I'm describing.
Okay.
Where some parts get exiled and others are forced into these protective roles.
Got it.
So going back to your question a minute ago, so we go to those protectors, and this might sound bizarre to some of you, but you can literally have conversations with them. But first I'll get the client into what here might be called a mindful state toward those protectors. So if we were working for you, and let's say the serious guy who you mentioned, Soren, I'd say, focus on him, find him in your body, and how do you feel toward him? You want to do that?
Sure. I feel kind of frustrated for him because I feel like he took over and I lost a lot of teenage years when I could be out having fun. Instead, I didn't have much fun.
Yeah. So I'm
having fun now, but I didn't then.
Right.
Yeah.
I understand why you'd be kind of pissed at him.
Yeah.
But let's see if the parts of you that do have that attitude toward him could give us a little space in there so you could just get to know him rather than be angry at him. So you could get curious about him.
Okay, yeah, I can look at him with curiosity.
And how do you feel toward him now?
I feel like he's tense, and he feels kind of anxious.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like he's very in a good place.
Okay. So from this curious place, ask him what he wants you to know. Just that open question.
So I'm asking him in my mind's eye, what does he want to know?
What does he want you to know?
What does he want me to know?
About his tenseness.
He's got a booklet out and he's making schedules and he's making plans and he's like trying to make sure everything gets done and on time, and he's very kind of persistent with that. And I'm interpreting that what he wants me to know is that he's very busy, and he's very making sure that he protects me well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know this guy.
Yeah.
I worked with him yesterday to try.
Is that right? Same guy.
So ask him what he's afraid would happen if he didn't work so hard this way. And just wait for the answer. Don't think of the answer.
If he didn't work so hard, what would happen?
Yeah, what's he afraid would happen?
Shit would fall apart. The organization and the structure of our lives would fall apart, and chaos would reign.
That's exactly what my guy said.
Is that
right? Okay. So how do you feel toward him now as you hear all this?
I feel sorry for him.
Yeah.
I feel that's a lot of responsibility to make sure my life doesn't get chaotic.
Yeah. So let him know. You feel sorry for him?
Yeah, okay.
See if you can actually show him that you care about him and you feel sorry for him. And just
I can kind of pat him on the back and be like, man, that's a tough job.
Yeah. And how's he reacting as you do that?
He seems to take it. He's like, yeah, it is. He's like, yeah, you're right. It's been a tough job. I've worked my butt off.
And ask him if he protects parts that might be stuck in times that were very chaotic or where things were falling apart. Just ask him that question.
He says I protect vulnerable parts, or
Yeah.
I protect things from getting hurt again.
From getting hurt again?
Yeah.
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 Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Can we tell you? Yeah.
We don't have to go there.
Yeah, I felt really embarrassed and ashamed as a kid after my parents divorced, and I was used to be like a popular athlete, I was out doing stuff, and then once the parents divorced, then I felt a lot of shame, and then I think I kind of hid part of myself.
Yeah.
So that was that feeling of kind of being a kid and like not quite sure what to do, so.
How old is that boy?
In my mind, or
your
about
mind.
13, 14?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel toward him as you see him there?
I feel tenderness towards him. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I mean, he learned a lot from the experience. I don't know if I'd be here today without that experience, because I feel like that introduced me to meditation, introduced me to a lot of different experiences. So there was like, that was a really beneficial time. I think if I hadn't had that experience, I might have just gone and followed my friends to business school and Texas oil company or something. So there was something that experience also opened up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So see if you can let him know you feel tender toward him and see how he reacts to that.
He likes that?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much further you want to go with this.
As far as we need to.
Really? Okay. So he's reacting well to you being with him in this tender way. Okay. And ask him if he feels like you get how bad that time was, or if there's more he needs you to feel or see or sense about it.
Yeah, he feels like I get it. I think he feels like, I didn't know what to do. It's hard for me when people, I work my butt off to be respected. I work my butt off to be successful. And it's hard for me to be seen as not successful or as not accomplished.
So there's a lot of shame with that.
Yeah, I don't want that to happen. I want to be like seen in a way that's like competent and on it. And so he wants me to understand that there's pain around that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you feel like you get it? Ask him if he does feel like you get the pain around it.
Yeah, he thinks, all right, you know what it's like. Yeah, you get the pain. I think as best I can get, he feels like I understand the pain around that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'd like you to go into that time period and be with him in the way he needed somebody. Tell me when you're in there with him.
Back in that other time.
The divorce time, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can be with him.
How are you being with him?
He's really small and I'm really big. It's interesting. Like our bodies are very different body types, but I'm just kind of like hanging out with him.
And how's he like having you there?
He appreciates it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
He feels accepted.
ask him if there's anything he wants you to do with him or for him back there.
He wants me to hold him, so I can do that. He's very small. It's like I can actually hold him in my arms. Yeah, so that's.
And does he need you to talk to anybody back there or do anything else, or does he just want to leave?
He just wants to be held, it looks like. Yeah, he just wants to not be alone and be held and feel like safe, that like, yeah, he's seeking safety, it feels like.
Does he feel safe as you're holding him? Okay. All right, so see if he's ready now to leave that time and place and come with you to a safe, comfortable place.
He's not sure.
Yeah, ask him, what's his reluctance?
He's just like, it's a really dangerous world out there.
Well,
And I'm very vulnerable and I don't know if I want to go out there.
Yeah, so there's truth in that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can take him to a fantasy place. It doesn't have to be this
Okay.
world. It can be anywhere he'd like.
Okay, he's open to that. Yeah, he's open to going. He's not open to going He's open to going somewhere.
Yeah.
He wants it to be safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can show him alternatives, or he can tell
He
you
likes
more.
the beach.
Beach, yeah.
Yeah.
Beach is very popular with him.
It's a nice place to be. He likes the beach. You can kind of see out. It's safe. You can like look and see if there's ships that are going to attack or something. Like there's that feeling of being able to see or look around that he likes.
Okay, good. So how's he doing? And you're there with him on the beach? How's he doing now?
He's good. He's enjoying. He's still a little suspicious and checking out the sites, waiting for something to attack. But in general, he's pretty good.
Okay. And tell him he never has to go back there, and you're going to be taking care of him now. So that he is safe.
Okay.
And see if he's ready to unload the feelings and beliefs he got back there.
Yeah.
And where does he carry all that, in his body or on his body?
He shows me his arms, and he's going like this.
All right.
So
Is he ready to unload that? Is that what
he says he is, and he's also growing. So he was like, he's getting taller as I talk to him.
That's great.
So I think that's a sign, yeah.
Yeah. So tell him to keep doing that, letting all that out of his arms.
Okay.
Maybe going to the water or the sand or something.
Okay.
Let's do that until that's all out of him.
Okay. He's like flushing the water over him.
That's great.
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure, but it feels healing. Like it feels like the water is rushing over him and is like taking things with it into the ocean.
That's great. Yeah. So we'll just stay with that until it feels complete.
Yeah. It feels good. He's much taller now. He's like 6'8" or something. Like he's like big.
He can protect you now.
Yeah. He's big.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. And then let's bring in the first guy, the guy with all the schedules.
Organizer.
Organizer. So he can see he doesn't have to protect this guy anymore, and just see how he reacts.
He's impressed. He's like, whoa, I don't need to protect that anymore.
That's right.
Yeah. So he's willing to give up his clipboard, I think, pretty easily.
Okay. And he can think about a new role now if he wants.
Okay. Phew. Yeah. Yeah, he's done. He's done. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to just theorize about
I know.
But it's good.
You're such an unbelievably good sport. To do that.
Well, can you talk through what you did and how that process worked? I was a little bit I'm not a total trance state, but I was also not quite following. Yeah. I was in my own visual world, so.
Okay, so we started with this serious guy who turned out to be the organizer guy.
Yeah.
And then we asked him what he was protecting.
Yeah.
And then we went to that, which was the boy in the divorce scene, which would be the exile that you tried to push away when this guy took over to organize your life and not ever have something chaotic like that happen and all the shame happen again.
Yeah.
And we did a whole healing with that boy, which involves 3 main steps. One is for you to witness what he went through and feel how bad it was for him. From
and
this,
and you can't move on until you've done that, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah. And then to literally get him out of where he's stuck in the past to a safe place. And then to what we call unburden, to release the emotions and beliefs he got from that time. And it's not uncommon that they start to grow right away and become who they were designed to be, actually. And then we bring in the protector to see he doesn't have to do that anymore.
And is the thought that once protectors see this, we don't have to go into more of these frantic protection modes because they've realized like what
you're not so vulnerable anymore.
Got it. And that we're almost stuck at different ages? Is that also like,
Pretty much.
like part of me is, what am I, 52? 53? 52. 53 at the end of the month. So part of me is 52, but then another part is like 12, and another part is like,
Yeah.
okay.